Dear audience, I'm Ashik back again. This is our second session on the series of leaders whiteboard. Our today's topic is people management or technical leadership. So I'll be talking in the context of a software engineer. What are their career growth options as they grow or gain experience in their job? So there are two major areas. Basically, you can move into management or you can remain as an individual contributor, but can climb the ladder on the technical side. So I'd rather lay out the options in this session today instead of talking about why you should move into engineering management or technical leadership. So let's just lay out what are available there. And maybe in the next session, we can talk about why you should choose one over the other. All right, so let me share my screen. All right, so for a typical software engineer, let's take a step back in what are some of the options for a software engineer. So the way it happens is that a software people start as an intern or a junior software engineer in a software company. Maybe they have just finished their education and then they just started. Typically less than 1 year of work experience or 1 to 2 years experience. They are junior software engineer or intern. That's how they start. But then after working for a couple of years, they move into software engineer level. I'm just saying typically it varies company to company, industry by industry, or geography by geography or demography. So, but at a software engineer level or mid-level software engineer level, people are usually less experienced than like less than 4 years work experience and so on. So once people are about 5 years of experience working in various different software projects, that's when they get to the senior software engineer level. And senior software engineer level is called a non-terminal level. What it means is that someone can be in that senior software engineer level and continue to serve for an indefinite period of time. The earlier levels, the junior software engineer or mid-level software engineer levels, these are terminal levels. That means the expectation from management is to move this engineer to the senior software engineer level because they consider these as investment on the engineer. Like at a junior or mid-level, the company will invest on you to train you to get to a senior software engineer level. And that's at a senior software engineer level, someone is able to fully contribute to the company at a very significant level. But once someone is in senior software engineer level for quite some time, that's when typically the decision point comes, is that do I want to continue in the technical track or do I want to move into people management? So again, it will vary widely. So I'll just tell you a typical standard route on both the path, but you'll have to adjust your expectation company by company and location by location. So what are some of the options? So a senior software engineer can decide to stay on the technical track, individual contributor track. So usually what happens when they get promoted and wants to stay in the technical track, they will be moved as either a tech lead or a lead engineer level. And then from then, they can get promoted to staff engineer level. And then from staff engineer, they can get to principal engineer level. And then from principal engineer, they can get to senior principal engineer level. And at the very end, in some companies, you have distinguished engineer or fellow and so on. So not all companies have all those layers or titles, but some of those. So this is a typical track if you want to stay on the technical track and not manage people, maybe help people, mentor people, but not directly manage people. That is the technical track. For many people, for many software engineers, that's a that's the track that they choose. In fact, 2 out of 3 senior software engineers choose this track from my experience on an average, and 1 out of 3 actually move into people management track. So then let's look at, okay, what's the left side, in this diagram, the left side of this, the people management track. What are the options? So a senior software engineer can also choose to move into the people management track, starting with engineering manager. If they perform very well, if there are opportunities, their manager will allow them to try out the track, which is the engineering manager track. And then from engineering manager, that's when they start managing other people rather than just coding or doing system design or technical work. They mostly work on managing other people, although they may also be doing technical work. In some companies they do, in some other companies they don't do. So you start with engineering managers, like frontline management, and then you move into senior engineering manager after a promotion, and then from there, director of engineering, then senior director, and eventually executive level, which is VP. In some other companies, you have SVP, AVP, EVP, and so on. So basically, VP or above. And usually all of them rolls up to reports to, at the end, eventually to the CTO, Chief Technology Officer. So what we are seeing is, what are the options for a senior software engineer? Either you stay on the individual contributor technical track, or you move into people management as we grow. And it's a choice you have to make. And not that even if you make a choice, you'll get opportunity all the time to move into management, but at least you can start exploring. On the other hand, not everyone is suited for people management role, just like not everyone is suited for being a software engineer in the first place or staying in the technical track. So, but those are something we'll talk about at another day. For now, I'm laying out, like, assume that you are a very good performer and you have a choice to pick either of those. What lies ahead of you? That's what is this diagram. I try to explain it through this diagram. So now, if you stay in the individual contributor level, what will happen is you will become like a lead engineer or a tech lead, where your responsibilities will be architecture of the system that you're developing, the actual development, coding, system design, testing, deployment, all those things, and also technical leadership. Like, you are not going to only do your work, but you have to help your team, give the team technical direction to take a project from one place to another to achieve the goal. So the technical leadership. So they share this leadership responsibility with the engineering manager for the team. It's a shared responsibility between the tech lead and the engineering manager to give the technical leadership, but it's mostly the tech lead who is more aware of, more skilled to give the technical direction. They'll take help from the engineering manager or other team members, but that's their primary role. So what we see then, the primary responsibility of a tech lead is not only just development, which is coding or implementation, but also helping with the system design and architecture, which is a big part of their responsibility. They're responsible for the whole systems, the distributed system or the suite of systems, how those should perform. Everything should be, if there is any problem, figuring out and make it continuously better over time. And then overall give technical leadership to the team members, in which direction the team should go in terms of the choices you make, libraries, the frameworks, the databases, and so on. Tech stack. All right. So now let's look at the next one. But then what does the engineering manager do? How is it different? So the engineering manager works with a team. So of course the tech lead also works with a team, but they are not responsible for everything in the team. They are mainly responsible for the technical direction of the team, the tech lead. But an engineering manager is less responsible, a lot more for the team than the tech lead or others. Why? Let's look at this diagram. So in the upper right, we see that the tech lead that we just discussed a little earlier, the tech lead main focus is technical. When it comes to their responsibility towards the team, they have the technical focus. On the other hand, in the team, you have product manager also, who is mainly responsible for the success of the product focus. While the engineering manager is there, who is responsible for the success of the entire team. Their focus is mainly on the people and the team. They also share the responsibility with some product success, some technical focus, and so on, but they are primarily responsible for the people and the team's success. So that's, and then what's the team? Team is all of them together, including the regular engineers or UX designers or other team members in the team. So engineering manager's job is to take care of the whole team, and particularly managing the people, being responsible for their career growth, their promotion, hiring, firing, and so on, which is not what tech lead needs to do. So, however, there are a few things that are common within engineering manager and tech lead, and we'll take a look into it in our next slide. Okay, so let's see what are the differences between the people manager and the individual contributor, so that our senior software engineers who is trying to make a choice, they are aware of what lies ahead if they choose one over the other. So let's start with the first one, influence. When it comes to influence, a people manager, for the people manager's part, as you move up the management chain, you can have a significant influence on the direction of projects, teams, and even entire departments or organization or the company. So in one sense, the people managers may have a lot of influence over different moving parts of the system, the organization of the team, right, or the projects. Individual contributors also influence the team a lot, but their influence is more limited to a particular domain or area or technical knowledge. Like they will gain deep knowledge in specific areas, but they may miss out on broader organizational understanding due to narrower focus. Their focus is in a certain domain or particular technical area, when the people manager may have to actually look across the organization in many different areas. So because the tech lead has to go deep, the engineering manager has to go wide. Typically, that's the case. So how about skill? In terms of skill development, for people managers, they have the opportunities to enhance soft skills such as communication, negotiation, conflict resolution, and organizational understanding. However, they will find less time for coding or technical tasks, often maybe no time for coding. But a little bit of coding at the early stage of engineering management, a lot of managers stay involved, but as they move up in the hierarchy, they get less and less time for that. Eventually, no time at all. For an individual contributor, that's not the case. That's their main work, right? So their work is technical. They dive deeper into technology, become a recognized expert in a particular domain or in their field. They stay close to the code base and technical challenges, allowing the team to shape the technical direction, of the team. In terms of career progression, again, it depends, depending on the demography where you are or the industry and so on. But typically what we see is that if someone can do good in people management, the management path can lead to higher executive positions eventually, like director, VP, or even chief technology officer. On the individual contributor side, typically that's not the case. So you get kept at a certain level. In some organizations, you have limited pathways for continued advancement in purely technical roles. After a certain level you cross. After that threshold, you don't have much, you stay there. that may not be the case, let's say in Silicon Valley or in many other startups or very large or good companies, but in many companies that is also the case. So there are some things to consider here. The mentorship, the people manager, definitely they are coach, they are mentor for people, they are responsible for the development of other individuals, right? So they have the opportunity to guide, mentor, and foster the growth of other engineers or even other leaders. For individual contributor, the mentorship comes in more on a technical way. Like they have the opportunity to guide young engineers technically without being responsible for their overall career development, because that's the engineering manager's job, to take responsibility of the overall career development of an engineer or their direct report. But for a tech lead, it comes more as mentoring on the technical side, on the technology stack or architecture, system design, clean code writing, and so on. That kind of mentorship opportunity a tech lead will get. Or an individual contributor who grows a lot in their role at a very senior level, they'll get those opportunities. How about the pressure? So the workload or work-life balance or pressure in general, the pressure of the work, from leadership, from management, or from peers, and so on, responsibilities. So for people manager, the pressure is typically high. They are accountable for entire team's deliverable and performance. They're responsible for hiring, firing, performance review, and difficult conversations. Also, often they have to work. They don't have any particular timeline. Their time commitment increases because their responsibilities are very high, and that might affect their work-life balance. On the other hand, there is also pressure for individual contributors who grow in their ladder. The more responsible position they go on, the more pressure is there. But at least their pressure is of technical nature, and as long as they can handle themselves, they are good. The pressure is not like the engineering manager, which is kind of a catch-all kind of responsibility. Anything that happens, they will be responsible. They're not like that. But individual contributors do need to face that constant learning pressure to continuously stay updated with fast evolving tech trends, because so many things are changing, so many new frameworks are coming, new programming languages are coming, new databases, new cloud technologies are coming. They have to stay on top of all of those so that they can give the required technical direction to the team, right? So that's another constant learning pressure that individual contributors who are a little bit senior, they have to go through that. So what we are seeing then today is that there are both quite viable options, whether you are in a IC line or in a people manager line, to be in a very good, comfortable, or successful position in your role as you grow in your role. Yeah. So both are good, and you as a senior software engineer, you will have to figure out what suits best for you. There are certain considerations that you have to think, but that's for another episode we'll try to look into. I think I'll end it here today. So please like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you know anytime I upload new episode, you can get notified. Also, please use the YouTube's comment box to recommend new topics that you want me to discuss with you. You can also send me email at ashikuzzaman@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.